His mouth is shut while he's smiling.
Okay, we're on session 5. And church map. Okay, last time we were at the church, you delivered the burgomaster's body to Donovich, the priest.
Be converted.
Burgers.
And discovered that, his son had been turned into a vampire spawn and that he had been trapped in the basement.
Almost released him with the door knocker.
Yeah, I don't remember where we paused. Did we pause?
I think we paused right after the ceremony.
Okay.
Yes, you all helped Donovich bury the body. He was talking to Ismark the Lesser, and, he suggested taking Ireena to the abbey at Vallaki or the fortified city of Krek. And at that point, you all decided to take a long rest, and you're starting out the next morning to take Ireena to wherever you all decided to go.
Well, I have to admit, I don't have a particular preference one way or the other. Do we want to go to this Vallaki place or an abbey? Frankly, Vallaki sounds like a more entertaining location. Don't have a strong history of good times at abbeys.
And actually, the last place we paused was it was not in here, actually. It was at the burgomaster's mansion, because we left here, went to the mansion to plan our trip. We were resting one more night. And with that note, look at ugly picture, Vallaki closer.
Well, then it seems like a better place anyway.
Well, we can keep our decision until after we visit the gypsy.
What gypsy? What gypsy? I ask question, not you.
I was notified of a gypsy that may help us find out more about this area.
But what gypsy? I'm finding out, you hush.
The gypsy is located on our way out.
But what gypsy? You start getting the distinct impression I don't know what the hell a gypsy is.
That's what you mean. The sorcerer who could foretell the future.
Sound like shaman. Me no like shaman.
No?
Shaman kicked me out tribe.
And why would a shaman do that? You seem to be a very useful fellow.
Are you sure?
Him no like me knocking on him door.
Were you using one of your patented techniques?
Of course. Why me raise hand to open door when me just use door knock?
Well, so I understand then perhaps why he was less than enamored about your continuing presence in the group.
Man, it alright. Him smell like ogre turds anyway.
You say that as if it's a bad thing. Do you think it's a bad thing?
Me no like smell ogre turd. Like giant turds better.
I shall make a note of that.
Probably much better diet.
So, I do vaguely recall mention of Vistani, who who could assist us.
Yeah, there were three in the bar, and one of them approached Mathis and was talking about he needed to go see uh,
Madame Irma?
yeah, and get his fortune read. I couldn't remember if it's Eva or Ava.
Is it Irma or Ava or Eva?
Ava.
Ava. Okay, I have to make sure I got that down in my notes.
Okay. And, well, you know, it just happens to be on the road to Valaki as well.
Wasn't that a coinky dink? All right, so we rested for the evening, gentlemen, and I think it should be a good time to move.
Well, I suppose so. Let's move out.
And
Are we moving on foot, or do we have access to horses and a carriage?
unfortunately, you're on foot.
Okay, I was thinking about this.
Well,
Out of character. The map scale is all wrong. If the map scale was actually right, you could walk from one side of Barovia to the other in half. So I think you were saying something like 6 hours to travel to Valak.
Yeah, I was just pulling that up. Normal speed, you can do 24 miles per day.
And each hex is like an eighth of a mile or something like that. I can't pull it up right now to look at it. But
Yeah, each hex is a fourth.
so 4 hexes, how many hexes is it to Valak? Give or take. I mean, you don't need to do a full, it's a quarter mile. Let's see.
Straight line, it's about 3 miles, but following the road, you know, twist and twine, I'm gonna say it's probably 6 miles.
$64 hexes following the road, going through exactly where the Valaki are, since I do know where they are, was 64 hexes. I did actually give a count.
So 16 miles.
So halfway across this country is 16 miles. I think we may want to change that, change the size of these. Just throwing that out there. I was thinking about that last week when you're like, "Yes, that's why." I'm like, "Wait a minute, I completely forgot because when I ran it, I changed the size of it just to slow travel down." But sorry, I just wanted to bring that up. You know, it's of course always up to you, but I thought it was just funny when I was like, "Yeah, this whole place is only like 32, 33 miles."
Yeah, I was thinking about that last night, and it's like, I need to get out my ruler and measure. And
Oh, don't put yourself out. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact.
you know, 16 miles would be at slow speed. Yeah, let's say a hex is a mile.
There you go. That works. That way we can spend some time out in the great nature that is Barovia.
Absolutely. Okay, so you're at the mansion. When I give y'all a overnight rest just to make sure I did. And you are refreshed, and it is the next morning.
Holy crap. All right. Sorry to interject one more time. I popped up a second session without Advanced Combat Tracker. It fully worked. The moment I put the effect on him, it changed his token, put it to the right side. So, there's that.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, right when I removed the effect, I brought back the standard token. Yeah, that's cool. Hell yeah. Nice and easy. All right.
I did see where they said you might want to revert back to your character before you save the game or exit the game.
It'll lose your token if not. But
So,
yeah, that's easy enough. Most of the time we don't pause in battles.
yeah, when we take a break, I'll restart again. I know I unclicked Advanced Combat. Okay, so we're gonna set out for Wallachia. And I'm gonna put some tokens on the map. And the gypsies are at the Tizer Pool encampment, which is a small little lake on the way. And town is very quiet as normal. Not a whole lot of outside activity is taking place right now as you all depart.
What? We're not having a parade while we're leaving? That sucks.
No, but you do get the funny feeling that you are being watched.
Well, they're welcome to take in my stellar visage all they please. I puff out my chest and dramatically flare my duster as we walk out of the city or town.
While he's walking out of town with his chest all puffed out, I'm going to grab the back of his duster and start polishing my mop.
Varbox, it's a leather duster. I don't think it's going to work cleaning your monocle particularly well. Perhaps this kerchief, and I'll take out a handkerchief and sneeze in it and then give it to him.
No. And I proceed to spit on my monocle and continue to polish it with the leather.
Yeah. Okay.
I like leather. It feels
I'm
better.
going to try and stagger my pace so that as he goes to kind of polish it, I take a long stride forward and kind of jerk the tail of my coat out of his hands.
And grab his duster with both hands and sit down and have him drag me behind him.
Gulliver will stop and give a big sigh and say, "We can proceed when you're done."
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. All right, we can go now.
Okay. Yeah. Once again, it's daylight in Barovia. However, it's all muted. It's not a bright sunny day like you would expect. Everything's just kind of dim and dismal, and it matches the rest of this forsaken countryside. And there's no parades as you leave town. You really don't see anyone, but you do get the feeling that there are eyes upon you. And as you make your way down the road, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 miles down the road, you come to this bridge that's crossing the river Iblis, and the river is flowing as clear as a blue winter sky through the valley, and it's roughly 50 feet wide, and you're crossing the stone bridge that spans the river. Does Baltox want to take a bath or anything?
I don't know, man. He avoids water.
Okay.
Do we see anyone following us?
No, you do not.
Alright.
But, you just haven't, you're not able to shake the feeling that, someone is still watching you.
Any idea where that feeling is coming from, or it's just a general feel of unease?
Yeah, it's just a general feel of unease. And, Ireena is, I don't want to say she's freaked out, but, she's a little uncomfortable. She's outside of the house, so she has no protection at all from the vampire.
On the contrary, Varltox would be happy to sacrifice his life to protect her. Not to worry, Ireena.
I'm afraid it might take more than a goblin.
Well, he's a very special goblin. I'm confident that he would swallow a number of his door knockers and give the assailant a great big hug.
Yeah, I was special knocker. When all the rest of the clan went into battle on their battle works, I rode the short.
So, you see there's nothing to fear. We're just going to have a conversation with Madame Eva, and then we'll get you to Vallaki, and perhaps you'll feel more comfortable there undercover.
Okay, and you all continue pressing forward, and you come to a crossroads. And at the crossroads, you see this old wooden gallows creaking in a chill wind that blows down from the high ground to the west. You see a frayed length of rope dancing from its beams, and the road splits here, and a signpost opposite the gallows points off in 3 directions. Barovia Village to the east, and Tizer Pool to the northwest, and Ravenloft Vallaki to the southwest. And you can see that the northwest fork slants down and disappears into the trees, while the one toward Ravenloft and Vallaki clings to an upward slope in the road. And across from the gallows, you can see a low wall that is crumbling in places, and it's enclosing a small plot of graves shrouded in the fog.
Nothing all that ominous about this crossing. Shall we go to the pools to the north, or continue on this fork of the road?
I think it would be better to stay near the water, so the pools sound like a good idea.
Ismark tells you that, if you want to speak with Madame Eva, that you need to go down to the Tyser pool.
Well, then I believe the choice has been made for us already. Shall we not tarry here near this not at all ominous gallows and graveyard?
Yes.
And Gulliver starts whistling loudly.
Okay.
You don't see any brooms, do you?
While he's whistling, whistling loudly a song. I'm gonna put my hand under my armpit and start adding on to the song.
That's a classical accompaniment. You, sir, should have been a bard.
I got a wonderful singing voice too. Yeah, me too.
We shall have to entertain Madame Eva with your voice.
Yeah, it should be interesting. As you start to leave the crossroads, Theron, you hear this creaking noise from behind you that's coming from the gallows. And
wasn't me.
As you turn around, where there was nothing, you now see a lifeless gray body. And the breeze turns the hang figure slowly, and as it's turning, you see its dead eyes fixed upon you. And you recognize yourself hanging from that rope.
Ooh, looks good.
And
can I take a bite?
Everyone else is seeing it's not Theron, but the corpse looks and smells real.
I'm gonna step up and take a bite.
As you step up to take a bite, you grab a hold of it and it feels real, but as your teeth start to sink into the lower leg, the entire thing just melts away.
Ah, what a ripoff! That was good tasting meat.
Gulliver's a little nonplussed by this, and his eyes are darting left and right to the graveyard, back to the edge of the woods, back to the gallows, and his hand is resting on his hand crossbow.
He turns and Voltox turns and looks at everybody and says, "That real powerful shaman magic. Even my monocle of true seeing couldn't tell that not." And he grabs his monocle when he's saying true seeing and pulls it away so his eye gets bigger for, extra dramatic.
Gulliver just shakes his head, smiles, and starts walking north.
Okay, you continue down the road to the north, and, it's dropping down in through the trees and, much lower area of the country. And the road gradually disappears, and it's been replaced by this twisted, muddy path through the trees. And you can see deep ruts cut into the path, from the comings and goings of wagons. And as you continue, the canopy of mist and branches suddenly give way to black clouds boiling far above. You see a clearing next to a river that widens to form a small lake several 100 feet across. You can see 5 colorful round tents Each one of them are 10 feet in diameter, and they're pitched outside a ring of 4 barrel-topped wagons. A much larger tent stands near the shore of the lake. Its sagging form is lit from within. Um, Near this tent, you can see 8 unbridled horses. You can hear the mournful strains of an accordion, and you can hear singing, and you see several brightly clad figures dancing around a fire. And go ahead.
As we approach, Gulliver will produce his flute and start playing a somewhat more cheerful accompaniment, catching on to the melody to announce our arrival.
Okay.
I scream, "Hey!"
And look,
And-
the giant donkeys.
Let me turn all this crap on in my combat tracker.
Draft horses.
Oh. I just saw the D.
Dragon.
Donkeys.
Those are dragons. We made the wrong turn.
And now I need to put you all on the map. And since Gulliver's singing, we'll put him out front.
Shouldn't we be coming from the other direction?
Side?
Bro. Maybe we looped around the woods and tried to sneak up on them from the other direction. That'd be one of those sneaky goblin things to do.
And you can see that the footpath continues beyond the camp, and it runs parallel to the river and the forest edge. And you can see the Vistani sitting around the campfire, and they're telling stories and being gypsies, and several hours have passed, so they're drinking quite heavily.
Greetings.
Well, good evening to y'all. Might you have some space around your fire for a few weary travelers?
Yeah, come on in, make yourself welcome.
Come in.
And it's hey, would you can we get you a flask of wine? Come join in the party.
Oh, your generosity is quite kind, but I should prefer just some simple water if you have.
Yeah, we can do that. And the rest of you want wine or water?
I'll take some water.
Water for me.
Mathis is going to inspect the quality of workmanship on the wagons.
Yeah, they bring out your waters, and Mathis, you're looking at the wagon, and it's pretty well built.
So, my name is Gulliver, and these are my companions, Mathis, Theron, Valtox, the quiet one in the back is Ulrich.
Actually,
And,
I'm actually not going to be with them.
Okay.
I don't like large crowds.
All right. This is Ireena, Kolyana, and if you hear some snapping noise in the woods, well, perhaps it's a truly nasty and terrible beast, but just as likely it's our companion Valtox, who is a truly nasty and terrible beast of his own, but of a more friendly disposition. Oh, and
from
this
out,
is
and from out in the woods,
Lesser.
since I've got very good hearing, you go, yes, and good looking too.
I would be remiss if I did not point out that amongst goblin kinds, he is considered to be a very active individual. We are seeking Madame Eva. We were told that perhaps she might reside here.
Yes, she sure does. She's over in the main tent.
Well, perhaps I can provide some musical accompaniment. Perhaps Valtox might join us with his very singular voice from the woods later after we've spoken to Madame Eva. I smile and attempt to be as disarming and charming as possible.
Yeah, you know, let me let her know that you wish to see her, and, he motions one of the Vistani over and whispers in his ear, and the Vistani runs over to the tent, kind of drunkenly, and says something at the door and disappears inside.
And, well, while he's doing that, I'm going to play my flute and make up an impromptu tune, stopping in between to tell the tragic tale of Grumblebutt, the goblin hero, who single-handedly charged a line of water buffalo, which he attempted to conquer in battle, but ended up being stomped to death.
I like it. And they are just enthralled with your tale and so forth, and you know, the other Vistani's gone while you're doing your performance, and even Valtrox out in the woods. You're singing a goblin hero, so you hear all kinds of strange utterings and coming from the forest.
I'm trying to leave some space for his accompaniments, his shouted accompaniments. I expected at some point he would chime in with his singular singing voice.
Yes, I chime in. I'm singing about the great goblin hero Gulliver that wooed a human princess away from the kingdom of Cormier, and how together they spawned the hobgoblin line. The hobgoblin line of the goblinoids, and it is a great and magical tale in goblin lore.
Are you singing that in Goblin or Common?
Goblin, of course. It doesn't translate over well. And I'm not singing it right now.
Okay. Eventually, the Vistani comes over, and he waits for your all's wonderful rendition of goblin folk hero songs to come to an end, and he says that Madame Eva would like to speak with you.
Well, I'll stand up and brush off the dust, and I will walk over to her tent.
I will also follow since I was originally notified of this encounter.
Okay. So he takes you over. We got Gulliver, Mathis, and you notice that Ismark and Ireena, they're just kind of hanging back right now. They're being very quiet, discreet, not really wanting to call a whole lot of attention to themselves. But he takes you into the tent, and you can see magic flames are casting a reddish glow over the interior of this tent. And it reveals oh, sorry. And so anyway, you walk in. There's magic flames. You're seeing this reddish glow um, over the interior of the tent. You see this low table covered in a black velvet cloth, and there's glints of lights that seem to flash from the crystal ball on the table, and you see this hunched figure peering into the depths, and as she speaks, her voice crackles like dry weeds, and at last you have arrived. And then she burst out in this cackling laughter. And she says, "Welcome, Gulliver, Tifton, Bradshaw, Sutter. I have been expecting you. And,
Well,
you,
that's most unexpected.
Mathis Sunborn, I have been waiting for you all."
And here we weren't quite expecting to meet you, but we did bring you a gift, and I will produce the gold ring that we got from the death house, and I will hand it over to her and say, we were informed that you were a woman of power and consequence, and that you might aid us with understanding our current location and predicament, and perhaps give us some guidance on the future. Please
Yes.
accept this gift, and I will give her the gold ring.
Oh, she says, "Thank you." And you come looking for answers, and you wish to have your fortunes read. And
Yes.
with that, she holds up an old deck of well-worn cards. What is it? A Taroka deck? And
Sounds about right.
yeah. I had a friend of mine that was big into tarot cards, and I have a hard time calling them anything but. But
I mean, for all intents and purposes, that's what they are.
yeah, no kidding. So she holds up her worn deck of tarot cards, and she goes, "Yes, I will explain to you what lies in store for you." And
Nothing ominous about that.
no, not at all. And she starts pulling the cards out of the deck. And she lays them out in a particular order, which I shared there. And she's reading the first card. And it says, "This card tells of history, and knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy."
So learn more about Ulrich.
All right. Out of character, I probably would advise notes be taken here. I think Billy's.
Out of character, I would agree with that. But she pulls the Enchanter card out of the Terra deck, and She says, I see a kneeling woman, a rose of great beauty plucked too soon. And the master of the marsh knows of whom I speak. And with that, she pulls out the second card. And just for notes. This card tells of a powerful force for good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope. And with that, she pulls out the Berserker card and says, find the Mad Dog's crypt. The treasure lies within, beneath blackened bones. And she draws another card from the deck, and she says, this card is of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, of sword of sunlight, and the card is the Transmuter. And she says, go to a place of dizzying heights where the stone itself is alive. The fourth card, this card sheds light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against darkness. And she pulls the broken one from the deck. And she says, I see a man of faith whose sanity hangs by a thread. He has lost someone close to him. And then the fifth.
What makes me wonder if that's Donovan.
Sure, sounds like.
And final card. Your enemy is a creature of darkness whose powers are beyond mortality. And this card will lead you to him. And this card is the Horseman. And she says, he lurks in the one place to which he must return, a place of death. And with that, she has completed her card reading. Does a little bit of mumbo jumbo at the end, and as a flash of flash powder, just to make everything seem really cool and worth the amount of money that you paid for it.
Now, does the card layout hold any meaning?
No.
Well, thank you for that somewhat obfuscatory glance into our future. I do appreciate anything else that you want to share with us? Perhaps some information on Valaki?
Perhaps information on what?
Valaki?
Falaki.
Okay. It was breaking up on my end.
Nah, probably meant.
Yeah, my end as well.
So yay, it wasn't just me. And Yeah, she says it's a town, just down the road. um, and, Gulliver, it seems like you would be more interested in how to,
Can I assist on that?
yeah, you sure can.
She would basically say something along the lines of Vistani uh, aren't really welcome in most towns, which is why they usually camp right outside of town. Um, the general populace don't.
Well, I'm sure that's a spurious concern.
Well, there's numerous rumors around Barovia about the Vistani themselves. Um, it's pretty openly known that they've done work for the Devil Strahd before. Um, assisting him, and he does not seem to hold them any ill will. They actually seem to persevere under his rule.
And they're pretty much the only ones that can come and go.
General populace don't really know much about the mist, except for you go into it, you die. They don't really know much about the comings and goings. They just know every once in a while they see. Don't really know how they get there. But that would just be the answer from what I know personally about the Vistani. Uh, and direct Dracula lore, they're basically uh, the gypsies, that have assisted him before.
Oh, I know. In another campaign, my character's a Vistani, so I know what we do. Gulliver doesn't.
Okay. And, yeah, what Rag said, Balaki is not very hospitable to the Vistani. So she's not really forthcoming with information on it other than, she really doesn't care for the people there.
Okay, well, what might you tell us about this mad dog? Or the, Lord of the Marsh, was it? Master of the Marsh.
Um, yeah, she tells you, let me find my map. And yeah, she's chapter. Yeah, she tells you that the marsh area, um, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Trying to find tokens and whatnot. And back on the Barovia map, the M is the marsh area. and it is a former town that had angered Strahd, and now it is just the ruins, and it's actually Berez. And P-R-E-Z.
Sorry, you broke up there for a bit. The marsh is in Berez, gotcha.
Yeah, I put it there in the chat. And, they angered Strahd, and, he pretty much laid waste to the town.
Well, it sounds like they may have some issue with Strahd. Perhaps useful individuals for us to talk with. Do you know who they might mean by the master of the marsh?
Give me just a second. And yeah, it's the same place on the map. Yeah, she's not really sure who the master of the marsh is. She just saw a vision, and, the answers that you seek, you can find in Berez.
Well, I appreciate the guidance, and while I have your ear, do you know who this mad dog is? Whose crypt was referred to by the Berserker card?
He was, Mad Dog was a general of Count Strahd.
Name like that doesn't seem inclined to tactical thinking. Was he a particularly good general or a bad general? And do you know where his final resting place might be?
She can't say that she ever met the man and so forth. However, she knows that a lot of the generals and Strahd's family and so forth, people that mattered to the Tsarevich family, are buried inside Castle Ravenloft itself.
And I take it that Castle Ravenloft would be Strahd's home.
Correct.
So perhaps not best to go knock on his door at this particular juncture.
I bet he won't be expecting it.
That's for certain, Atlas. That is for certain. Well, again, thank you for the generous read of our future. I hope you enjoy the ring and for the information. And may we... what time of day is it?
Let's say it's probably noon.
If we were to press on to Vallaki, would we be able to make it with the time remaining in the day, or should we seek repose with you in the Vistani this evening?
She's like, it's a long road. You still got quite a lot to go to get there. And helps I get on the right part of the map. It would be difficult to reach it by nightfall.
Would you be amenable to having a number of guests for the evening? Can entertain along with your musicians. And we have a goblin bard of some repute amongst his people who is brimming with interesting tales. Granted, he sings them in an indecipherable language and doesn't understand the concept of tune, such as you and I might, but it is very entertaining and instructive.
She's like, yes, with a coin, all are welcome. And we would love to have some more talented musicians, and not to mention a goblin bard.
I will be staying out in the woods, though, as stated. I'm not comfortable around the Vishtani for some.
Well, let me confer with my group mates and see if we wish to stay the evening or press on so that we can make it to Valaki in the morning. A good day to you, Madame Eva, and thank you again. I bow and make a hat flourish and back out of the tent. Mathis, what did you make of that?
Seemed like a nice lady. However, I can see our guests are quite nervous. Perhaps we should move forward and camp elsewhere.
I am inclined to agree, given our traveling companions who are native to this land's general Ireena and Ismark's general dismay and Valtox's unwillingness to sit here, while I might enjoy the brief respite from his presence. I expect it's probably best if we do move on.
Yeah, you can see that Ireena and Ismark are very. They have some upbringing, so it's not totally obvious, but you can tell that they are nervous and anxious to get out of the gypsy encampment.
Well, fine folk, we thank you for your brief hospitality and wish you the best of luck for the day and ongoing. I'm sure our paths shall cross again in only the nicest way. Valtox, we're going to be moving on. You do not have to climb a tree. And kind of round everybody up, and we'll continue along the road to Valaki.
Valtox is grumbling himself. Me no climb tree. I was in hole.
Oh, sorry. I shall amend myself in future. And
What
as
you
we
think
get,
me am? An orc?
well, you do kind of look like a bit of a midget orc, but you're much more intelligent.
No, orc look like goblin.
Yes, the old argument of the chicken and the egg. As we get out of the camp, I will recount to everyone, checking and confirming the details with Mathis about the reading, and see if Ireena or Ismark know anything about the Mad Dog General, or what they can tell us about Berez.
Okay. Yeah, let's start with Perez. Yeah, apparently Strahd met a woman in the village of Perez, and she she becomes Strahd's obsession, just like Ireena, and he seduced her in the dead of the night and apparently feasted on her blood. Um, but before she could be turned into a vampire, uh, the Burgomaster of Perez and a local priest uh, killed her to save her soul from eternal damnation.
Who
And
is
that
this?
the object of Strahd's obsession in Perez. And this Mark, he really doesn't know her name. It's all been, ancient history as far as he's concerned. But, it enraged Strahd. And so Strahd slew the priest and the burgomaster, and according to legend, he used his power over the land to swell the river and flood the village and force the residents to flee. And, later the marsh actually crept into the city of Perez. And it's prevented the villagers from returning. And Perez has mostly been abandoned since.
Well, we shall ensure that Barovia does not meet a similar fate. And I assure you, Ireena, you are safe with.
She looks worried, but slightly comforted by what you said. And Mad Dog, I knew he was a general for Strahd, one of his military commanders. A little bit before my time.
A
Not much
little?
information.
It's a little more than a little. It's like a good millennia before us.
Well, I thank you for that information. It certainly has helped the time pass as we've walked. How far are we going to be able to get before we have to make camp for the evening? And will we have a place where Varl trucks can dig a safety hole?
Oh, you're in the middle of a forest. I'm sure he can find a place to dig a hole. Okay. So, you work your way back up to the crossroads where you met the gallows, and Theron is not seeing himself hang this time. You're not seeing any bodies hanging from the gallows.
I think we would actually continue along the shortcut path to the north out of camp, seeing that we did have a map that would get us closer to the bridge near the Sere Falls.
Oh,
as opposed to circling all the way back.
And
Makes sense to me.
okay, you follow the river. To the base of a canyon. And at the far end, you see this great waterfall spilling into a pool, and there's clouds of cold mist billowing forth, and overhead you can see this great stone bridge spanning the canyon nearly 1,000 feet overhead.
Impressive.
That's quite a feat.
That look cold.
Yeah, and you're looking at the walls and so forth. They're slippery and sheer, and you're either going to need magic or equipment in order to scale the walls.
Well, any suggestions, anyone?
Well, it obviously looks like an impossible feat to climb, so there's no point on thinking about it.
Well, I can get over it pretty easy, but
You think there's something important on the up there?
Well, I'm less concerned about that. So, if we, how fast is the river? How wide is the river here if we're fording the river?
Well, it's not fording the river. It's climbing 1,000 feet sheer cliff. Yeah, you are at the bottom of a waterfall in a canyon.
I must have missed something in the description. So the bridge that crosses the river is way up high?
Yes, you are at the bottom. If you would have taken the road, you would have done a slow slope going up the mountain. But following the river, you're at the base of the waterfall, and the bridge is nearly 1,000 feet above you.
Well, the map was not particularly clear on this. It seems a foolish path to nowhere. Perhaps if we backtrack and cut through the forest slightly, we can find a more acceptable pace of climb.
That's why Goblin used superior sense of direction.
Well then, lead on, my
We
diminutive
don't
friend.
follow stupid ugly pictures.
Then I invite you to take us on a traipse through this delightful scenery, and we will gladly follow your lead.
Me hungry.
God save us all.
Matt is going to whisper to Theron, "This is going to be interesting."
And you're letting the goblin lead you all through the woods.
You've come to find that the Goblin's just more like a backseat driver.
Oh yeah, this is going to be fun.
Yes, we're letting the goblin lead us through his superior senses.
So where we go again?
We need to get up there.
You need to get up there.
Yeah.
All right, give me 10 minutes. I get up there. So in 10 minutes, I sit down and I brew up a spider climb potion, and I drink it. And
I hand him part of our rope.
yeah, I'm sorry, I doubt we have.
I don't think we have a
that's
thousand.
not gonna work.
No, never mind.
I like the idea, though.
I highly doubt it. I'm gonna see what creatures I have.
What are you gonna do? Let them ride you?
Or carry 'em.
Valtox,
Like
do
a
you have
giant
enough of that potion for the rest of us?
Me potion only be drink by me.
Okay, well, it's been nice knowing you. Enjoy your trek. Good luck.
But actually, to
And
be
then,
out of character, he's being honest. It won't work on any.
Gotcha.
I come back down. You say, can I get up there? I get up there.
Yes,
We
I
need to get up
apologize
there.
for the lack of
Just
specificity. Yes, by we meant the collective I.
Maybe
Honestly,
I just
I'm
use goblin sense here and just I don't know. Suggest maybe we go back way we came.
Well, I can transform into a giant owl.
I don't.
All
think
right,
giant
what are
owls-
you gonna do? Carry us all up?
Yeah.
And how big is a giant?
A
Is it
large
big enough to
beast.
pick up a human? I mean, a goblin's fine.
That's large. I don't know. Let's see what else I got.
Should be big enough.
1,000 feet up, 1,000 feet down. And he's got an hour to do it.
2
And
hours.
hopefully he doesn't shape change right in the middle of a trip.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Well, it'd still be faster than walking all the way around.
Us goblins aren't lazy.
Well, I admit I'm terribly lazy and would prefer not to backtrack past all of those folk. If we look at the map, it does appear that the road does kind of run parallel. Perhaps if we head back a few and then head southwest in the woods, we can find a more gentle slope.
Is the other side of the river also a dangerous slope?
Yes, it is.
Would the giant owl be able to lift us up one at a time to the top? Well, actually, some of us, since I can climb up.
Yeah, I was just reading a thing where, people were, using giant eagles as mounts.
Well, I have a giant vulture if that helps.
Oh, even better. Every time you see something dead and rotting, you'll swoop down and start eating.
Oh no, yeah, I got a giant eagle. I can transfer a giant eagle.
Yeah, I like the vulture idea.
Well, the giant eagle's faster.
All right. So does it get us up to the top of the bridge?
Okay, eventually you all get up to the top of the bridge and you did the eagle.
When everybody else gets up there, I'm standing on the edge of the bridge, and it looks like I'm taking a whiz. You got to do it when you're 1,000 feet up. I mean, come on. I mean, imagine how big it is to me. I'm only like flipping, 4 feet tall. You guys are all like 6 feet tall.
And Theron, as you're ferrying the first passenger up to the top of the bridge, your eagle eyes spot Valtrox on the side of the bridge taking a whiz.
I'm questioning some of the mist that's flying in your face.
I'm intentionally not trying to hit Joe yet.
Okay. Okay, being on
1 hour or 2 hours?
Oh, my duration's 2 hours.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you've had plenty of time to get everyone up top, and as you stand on the bridge, you can see that the stone is mold encrusted. And you can see these gargoyles that are cloaked in black moss perched on the corners of the bridge, and they're frowning.
Even Goblin know you never see Happy Gargoyle.
And on the, looking off the bridge, you see the waterfalls and the river that you just came up from.
Well, I suppose we should not tarry any longer if we are going to make progress before the sun, as it is, sets. Shall we continue?
I would have to agree.
Keep a close eye on the gargoyles as we cross the bridge.
And okay, that would have noon, we'll say 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. at the bridge. And what do you think a good traveling rate per hour? Calc 24.
It really depends on how much they can keep me concentrated on.
No, we're not going to stop. If Valtrox wanders off into the woods, we're keeping walking. We figure he'll catch up with him.
Well, I gotta get my alchemical component.
Yeah, well, sure.
Okay, if it's 1 o'clock,
I would say the split pretty well. The split right before the back gate should be roughly about 7.
7 miles or PM?
Well, it'll be the same. They're basically the same thing. I think that's 7 miles. So it'd be about 8 p.m.
7 PM at the gates. Okay, you are continuing forward down the road after being brought up to the top of the bridge. The bridge is slick with moisture, but you have no trouble getting across it. The gargoyles on the bridge don't animate and attack you, so you're counting yourself lucky for that one. And you're working your way up through the mountains and following the road, and you come to another gate, which out of character for a minute. Why didn't they move the gate?
What do you mean? There's 2 of them. There's one on either side of the Barovia lands, marking basically the direct area of Castle Ray. You got one on the right side of Barovia, and then
yeah, you got the one on the right where you come in. The one on the left, you can come and go freely?
no, both of the gates magically open on their own as you approach, and then they close ominously with a heavy screech and a slam. But no, there's nothing stopping free travel throughout the.
That's what I was thinking. It was just a weird spot to have a gate. I know the original adventure, that was the edge of the map.
If you look at the topography of the map itself, where the first gate is, you've got mist and woods. Okay, so you can't go around it. That's the right gate. The left gate, if you look, the land is quickly become a mountainous on the whole way, and there's no way to get up through there without going directly through the gate, which is a base act of defense. This whole area of the map, from Barovia up towards the northwest, is all like mountain range, and the top point of the mountain, like 2,500 feet above Barovia, is Castle Ravenloft. So It's really just a defensible point.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, you see, another gate like you saw previously when you walked into Barovia for the first time. And as you approach the gates, they do swing open.
Perhaps we can take shelter in some kind of a gatehouse if there's a gatehouse here.
I was also thinking this is a good place to rest.
Yeah, I concur.
Yes, you are not finding, just like the other one, yeah, there's no gatehouse.
Perhaps just set up a camp.
Yep, we'll set it up in the shade of the gate and the woods, and make it kind of protect us from whichever way the prevailing wind seems to be blowing.
At least it's not raining.
Yet. Okay, you all find a nice little spot, a little bit off from the gate, in order to set up camp for the night. And the night out in the wild is just as miserable and depressing as you expected that it would be. And guys, if you don't care, can we take 10 minutes here?
I'm good.
Cool
Perfect.
beans. And I'm gonna throw you all out of the server and turn off advanced combat and go back into it again.
Roger that.
Okay, well, that took a while. Combat tracker, where's my map?
Didn't lose anything else, did we?
I'm sorry.
Said we didn't lose anything else, did we?
Not that I can see on my end. And just getting all my damn windows back open.
Oh, I understand.
I'll be kind and I won't load the chat full of roles.
Yeah, when you connected, I wasn't paying attention and Fantasy Grounds paused because there were so many rolls happening. It's like, what the hell are all these dice doing?
It's just 60 dice and it has to figure out what side's going to point upwards.
Okay. And then we'll have a new map coming at you here in a second.
Something tells me this is the wandering battle to test out the druid.
Actually, it was a planned random encounter that random agreed with what I was planning, so.
Well, that's some randomly nice random.
Okay, so you all have set up camp, and you know, you got the little campfire gun sitting around the fire. I'm assuming God knows what the goblin is doing.
Right now, he's just scratching himself and looking for fleas and light.
Using the campfire as a guiding light.
No, I giggle because every time I find one, I throw it in the campfire and it sparks.
And yeah, I already missed advanced combat. um, you hear a noise coming from the southeast part of the clearing that you're in, And you see the snarling wolf the size of a grizzly bear stepping out of the fog.
We're in dire trouble. Too early.
Yeah.
Too early.
And it's time to roll for initiative.
Woohoo! I'm in back. Curious to why the fast players are last.
Sucky die rolls.
Who are you referring to?
Gulliver and Mathis with a +3. The +2s go first.
Okay, the first dire wolf is
The first.
the dire
There's more than one.
wolf. Runs forward and he's going to try to take a bite out of Ismark. And Ismark is able to dodge out of the way.
Okay. I will. Move over here so I don't push everybody away. I want to do my wild shape.
You just don't want to catch on fire.
And then I'm a wild shape into a brown. So we're doing the spell thing, yeah. Oh, the
Yes.
Yeah.
here we go.
Holy shit, that worked.
Okay. And
Yeah, that
then
rocked.
I'll move up. And I will claw the direwolf. And then bite the direwolf.
And you know, the dire wolf is yipping in pain and growling.
And that's pretty cool.
Sorry, I'm just looking up one quick thing. All right. Well, I've reached into the back of my belt underneath my rotten tiger cloak, and I'll pull out this strange and foul-smelling unguent, to which I pull out and I start rubbing all over my face, and I start looking like a female goblin that's getting ready to go to bed, putting on her face mask. And I slowly start to change again, and as I change, of course, my picture changes. I start getting big and ugly, and this huge body rips out, much larger than I am. Give me one moment to put all my effects on myself.
I think this would be the first time Ireena and Isberg seen this.
What, an elf turning into a bear and a goblin turning into a goblin?
Yeah, I'm much bigger goblin right now.
Wait until
Alright,
his turn. Gulliver turns into an animated broom.
Oh.
11
became
temporary hit
fear.
points to myself.
Just like Ratman.
And finally, I am under the effects of... And just give me one moment because I missed this aspect. I meant I have this already.
Read your spells before your turn.
No, it's not that. It's to be part of my do an extra 1d4. Okay, I needed the effect was what I needed at it, not the effect. I will be working on this as I'm out of here, but give me. And I'm now considered large.
Large, right? Not lard.
If you will increase my size, please.
Yeah, sure will.
Maybe you should use the druid mod.
It won't work for this.
Yeah, we'll have to modify it for goblin shape changing. And you're a size 10 now.
Thank you very much. Watch, I move here right beside Big Bear. Actually, I think I'd be 5 feet back, would I not? But rough approximation, whatever. And target a dire wolf. And then I will be ready. Okay, good. And then I attack. Finally. Why did I roll twice? Oh, because I have myself targeted. I missed the dire wolf, but hit myself. But I missed myself, so okay.
Alright. Masters will come out. Run on down. Swinging his mace. Heavy damage. Going for a back kick. Try to be a little too fancy.
Could have been an advantage.
Oh yeah.
And am I considered to have advantage with my current positioning?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
So yes.
Well, maybe not.
That's my turn.
Okay. This mark is He is going to swing his long sword at the dire wolf. And he's going to try a second attack. And that one misses. And Ireena is just going to move up and out of the way. And I can delete Billy's wolf and brown bear. Ulrich is not with us. And dire wolf number 2 is going to try and bite Theron. And that was a miss.
You forgot to move forward to bite. Just snap in the air.
I will bite and claw the direwolf in return. Giant animal battles.
Anything else?
It says he's down.
Yes, he is down. And as the wolf drops with your keen bear eyesight, you can see another dire wolf that's coming out of the woods.
Okay. Well, seeing that.
Billy looks at us and goes,
Completely distracting us.
My speed is a bear, 40. Okay. I will.
yeah, it's barely faster than your land speed normal.
But
I will run into the forest after the direwolf.
Frogtalk shells at you. Need that poop already? You just ate.
And I'll take my my bite attack to the direwolf. Okay, that's it.
And he lets out a couple of barks before he tries to bite the bear. And while he's biting the bear, he's he manages to knock you prone, Theron.
Right, and this giant rat-type, goblinoid-type Mr. Hyde creature starts rumbling after the bear, screaming, "Me kill you now, you die!" I'll keep it the same way it was before. And I attacked myself again, but I hit the dire wolf, and I shout, "Untarget." There we go. And let's see, damage. Make sure I got dire wolf targeted. I do. Okay. And I do a little chunk of damage.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mathis, you are aware of some movement coming from the north of you. And you can see that another dire wolf is ready to pounce out.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
Dogs don't pounce. Cats pounce. Just kidding with you, man.
Yeah, hey, don't I have you in my Saturday night game?
Actually, I don't think so.
Yeah,
My Saturdays are always wide open.
So it's still in the forest, so that would be a -2 to a range
Uh,
attack.
yeah.
Alright. I'll move in front of the fire, and I'll throw a dart at the one direwolf.
Don't you start getting any like heroic things about saving Ireena. You know you are settled at your. Besides, she could never go after somebody with that goofy type haircut.
It's a very dignified haircut.
Yeah, sure, if you're John Luke Picard.
And there we go.
Gulliver gives a shout of, "Ireena, I'm coming."
Well, he throws you a handkerchief to dry off the top of your head from the sweat that's forming on your.
And then, so I'll run and interpose myself in front of Ireena and then attack the direwolf.
You can just shine a light off the top of his head and blind the direwolf.
All right.
Oh, see, that's why I went in front of the campfire.
Okay, Usmark is looking around, and he notices one more dire wolf to the southwest. And he's just going to close the gap to protect his adopted sister. Ireena is just going to stand there.
No, Leroy, come back. I mean, Ismark.
And
How did you mistake Ismark for Leroy for Ismark?
Leroy, because he's running in there alone.
I don't think he can handle it.
number 11 comes down and does bite Mathis.
Hey, you get off him leg mine.
And he tries to knock you prone, but you are able to withstand it. And this map's got a weird proportion. And number 16's going to advance up. We're going to bite Ismark. And it's a miss.
Okay. I'm gonna stand up.
Okay, and you are no longer prone.
Shuffle around the dire wolf a little bit.
Bears don't shuffle, son.
Shuffle, shuffle.
You can shuffle.
Oh, you literalist.
Hey, I don't know about you, but I've never gambled with a bear before.
I will bite and claw the dire wolf.
I've encountered several of them, but
You're at advantage, son.
Oh,
You should have moved to advantage.
But that's not like.
Okay, well, just
That's
set me
it,
up
the
for
map,
advantage.
I mean.
Okay, fine, whatever.
uh,
Just sit there and shuffle your cards and kill the direwolf.
you know, if you want to, since you are at the edge of the map, you want to say you're 5 feet over, I'll give you a flanking.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
It's not like we're in dire need or anything.
Okay, alright, I'll just call that advantage from my
Yeah,
claws.
so you got a hit on your first one.
I'll try to bite. There we go.
Okay. 17, we're going to try and bite the bear. And you managed to stay upright.
And I can continue my ruthless attack. Actually, we'll just make this legal. Now it's an actual flank.
Well, you would have had flanking there anyway.
Yeah, just, my sense of AD. Or not ADD, excessive compulsive. ACD. And I hit. And Direwolf takes another 8 points of damage. I miss Advanced Comics. I can't tell how wounded he is.
Yeah, me too.
Got an orange dot. So it's almost there.
And it looks like the druid, if you look at the bear, it just puts a token over top.
Yeah, I see it.
I can't spin the bear, but I can spin Theron.
Alright, I shall take a cheap shot at the direwolf with my bare hand. Get a crit.
That
Hey,
national.
you
Your bare
cannot.
hand.
Yeah, you cannot use a bear joke on a wolf.
Yeah, you can't use a bear joke on a wolf. It's just unbearable. He
And
says
then
with a wolfish grin.
I'll use agile parry.
Nice crit, by
That's my
the way.
turn. Well, thank you. So 1 and a 4.
Okay, Ismark is gonna do a longsword attack and miss. We're gonna try a longsword again. And Ireena's gonna stay where she's at. Number 11, Gulliver was the last person to hit. So we're gonna try to take a bite out of Gulliver, which does hit. And Gulliver failed his saving throw, so he is now prone. Sixteen's gonna try Ismark. And he's gonna circle around Ismark.
Alright, let's see if we can finish off this dire wolf. Claw. And bite. So close. Okay, he's done though. And then I think they can handle it. I'll start moving my way towards Ismark's direwolf. And I'll go ahead and use my bonus action and heal up a little bit.
Can you cast spells as a bear already?
Nah, as a moon, I have an ability called Combat Wild Shape, which allows me to shapeshift as a bonus action, and I can also spend spell slots to heal myself.
Alright.
I shall attack this pig. And I missed terribly. That's what's missing. Your sounds aren't on today.
Ah. And where are we?
Advantage.
There you go, have some sound.
The mighty monk woodcarver takes down the wolf.
Alright, so I get up with half my movement. 5, 10, 15 feet. And...
Wouldn't that also be...
Oh, why did it roll with
difficult
advantage?
terrain?
Oh, it rolled with disadvantage because I was still prone. Oh no, it
Yeah,
rolled
2
two attacks.
targets.
Oh,
2 target.
yeah. So did I hit 16?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hit both though. Alright. It's my turn.
Okay.
Kind of makes you wonder if he's making pew pew noises when he fires, since his hand crossbows don't make any noise. It's like bang, bang, bang.
And Ismark got in a couple of good hits. And Ireena is just staying put. Number 11 ain't done nothing. $16 is gonna go at Ismark. And knocks him prone.
Okay. I will move up a little. Now, would this be considered a flank?
Yeah, I'd give it to you.
Okay. And claw. Yikes, okay. And bite. I'll make up for it.
Oh, sorry.
And with a run and a quick pounce, I jump on his back, and my teeth sink into the direwolf's spine.
Goblin ogres don't pounce.
Yes, they do.
They trundle.
Goblin ogres do whatever the hell they want. And then I jump on his back, I get his spine in my teeth, and I crunch down and continue to smack loudly as I am dining on the last direwolf.
Okay, thank you for the very graphic description.
B for dinner.
Oh, and the last direwolf falls, and Valtrox is munching away.
Gulliver's going to gather some bolts and sit at the fire and start patching his wounds.
What was the roll for, Matthews?
Just wasting a one.
Getting that fumble out of the way.
There's 2 ones.
Okay, so you've defeated the last direwolf, and we are have some real experience points.
We have some lovely direwolf meat we can enjoy.
Are we taking a short rest so that I can expend some hit die?
This is overnight, so it'll probably be a long rest, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're
Yeah, I
gonna
guess it is
actually
overnight.
take a long one.
And after about an hour, you notice that I start shrinking back down to normal. You can make me normal again. Well, as normal as I am.
So, Winter, that brings my experience total to 202, which is not in alignment with level 3. So, are we switching to an experience model, or are we continuing with the milestone model?
We are going with experience.
Okay, so I need to adjust.
Yeah. And yeah, next level, 4th level is 2700.
So we are at 1102. If you take the 202 and 3rd level together.
Thanks, Rags. That's exactly where I was going. You beat me. Thank you.
1102 and 2700. Okay, so you do manage to make it through the rest of the night without incident.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem though. So I removed the effect off myself, but all of my stats from the bear stayed.
Did you use the correct spell to remove your stats?
What do you mean?
I thought there's a spell to disable your stats. Spell to enable.
Um, okay. Open wild shape using wild shape. Okay, what about disabling wild shape? Well, it seems like removing the effect should do it. Billy, I'm
All right, we fixed it.
how'd you
We
do
fixed
it?
it. We had a backup copy of his stats because only your top 3 stats get changed. So he just make sure he keeps a copy of those anytime it happens, just to manually put the 3 stats in. It's just a strength, dexterity, and con that get.
Oh, okay.
I'll look into it deeper. I'll look into it deeper when we get out of game and I have some.
Okay, so you've managed to spend the night. Got some experience points. And I so need to hotkey my map.
Have you checked your AC and hit points as well?
Yeah, probably. I just have to. What are my hit points at? My hit points are good. I just have to unequip and re-equip my armor every time I do that, and then that fixes my AC. So I think we're all good now.
Okay. And I need.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Well, you set out the next morning. Reshare the map. And
You'll notice that Vartox's belly is significantly larger. But he gets for eating a whole dire wolf all in a giant form.
Bartok would recommend that you try keto, but perhaps smaller portions in future.
Me need fiber.
I hand him a branch.
okay. I have a hard time seeing that hex on that map.
Yeah, you gotta zoom forward quite a bit. Even I have to. Just, I mean, honestly, eyeball it. You know, don't make us go as fast or slow as you want. You know, I mean, hell, you could make it take a month and a half for us to get the vote.
A steady stream of random encounter, just faster leveling.
Hey, I'm good with that.
At least he'll never go hungry.
That's true.
I don't think he's eating again for a little. Well, at least for an hour. He eats like Billy.
Okay, you all continue down to the road, and you come to a fork in the road, and you know there's a little sign pointing west that says a windmill.
Well, what do y'all think? Do we want to go to the windmill? I take it the other sign says Valky.
Yes, the other side does say Valaki.
Do we want to go see the scenic windmill or continue onwards to Valaki?
Maybe there are people there get us information.
It's entirely possible. Ismark, Ireena, what do you know of this particular windmill? It's a famous landmark.
Out of character for a minute, I do believe you all own that windmill.
Oh,
No,
that's
we do
our
not. We
windmill.
do not own this one. We do have a deed to a windmill, but it's not that one. Unless you want it to be our windmill. But by book rights, no, I do not think it.
What? House deed.
Of course, it can just as well be our windmill. I mean, I'm sitting back thinking about it, and I don't see any reason.
Yeah, because the will gives you the house, the windmill, and all other family property.
But that doesn't necessarily specify that is the windmill.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, there's no reason it can't. I never put one and one together, to be honest.
Because, I think the bone grinder's the only windmill mentioned.
You had to say the name, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess I did. Didn't think about that.
Well, I think we go to Windmill, see who's there. Meet new people. Maybe they got good munchies. And eat more food.
Yeah, the will doesn't specify, so that could be y'all's windmill.
Ireena, Ismark, do you have any thoughts on going to visit what may be our windmill? Will it delay us sufficiently from reaching Valaki? I think my companions and I would be curious to see if perhaps there's more information to be gathered there.
Or at least what condition it's in.
Yeah, they tell you, not a lot of people go to it anymore simply because it's, it was once a grain mill that served Valaki. And,
well then, Valtox, if you lead on with your unerring goblin sense of direction, let's go.
With that, Valtox kicks his front leg forward. While it's out forward, he spins around 3 times and starts walking completely in the wrong direction.
We'll give him a moment, and then we'll head off the proper direction down the road.
Yeah, a few minutes later, he starts sniffing the wind, realizes he went the wrong direction, and starts going. So we're heading now to the.
Okay. So you are headed to the windmill.
Yes.
Sure, let's go to the windmill.
Okay. Give me just a second. And yeah, I already missed the advanced combat. Okay. The road transitions from being a winding path through the mountains to a lazy trail that hugs the mountainside as it descends into this fog-filled valley. In the heart of the valley, you see a walled town near the shores of a great mountain lake. Um, its waters are dark and still. Um, a branch in the road leads west to the top of the hill, where you can see perched there is this dilapidated stone windmill. Its warped wooden vanes are stripped bare.
Well, I suppose we shall have to make an investment in restoring our windmill. Uh, it certainly looks to have seen better days.
Yeah, and as you get closer, you can see that the onion-domed edifice leans forward and to one side, as though it's trying to turn away from the stormy gray sky. Um, you can see gray brick walls and dirt-covered windows on the upper floor. There's a decrepit wooden platform encircling the windmill above a flimsy doorway leading inside the building. And um, perched on a wooden beam above the door is a raven. And, it seems agitated. It's hopping about and it's squawking at you.
Stupid bird. I'm going to throw a rock at.
Okay, you kind of throw your rock at the bird, and it hops out of the way, and it's really agitated, and it's just squawking and squawking.
What seems to be the problem, Mr. Raven? Your name doesn't happen to be Nevermore, does it?
Yeah, I don't have a good raven joke.
Nevermore.
um, um, you want to try an insight check there, Gulliver?
Sure.
Maybe our druid could maybe speak to him.
I don't have it memorized.
You can't do it naturally as a druid?
Not particularly insightful.
No, not at all.
Well, perhaps we should go see what's taking up residence in our new windmill. What does everyone think?
I'll agree, and I'll go on up to the door, try and knock on the door.
Wonder if they got food.
How could you possibly be thinking of eating after you consumed that brace of direwolves?
The growing goblin.
You definitely are. That's a bit of an understatement for certain. Go up to the door.
Okay, and I got a new map coming at you all.
Gonna give you a fair warning, I'm not a fan of this map.
No, neither am I.
Is it one of those isometrics?
No, it's just very cramped. Like, look at the inside of the windmill.
It's enough to fit.
Oh, that is a tight space.
Yes, it is.
Are we boring you there, GM?
No. Didn't sleep much last night. Uh, okay. Yeah. You go up and you knock on the door, and you don't hear any sound. I mean, and no one comes to the door. However, on the other side of the door, you can hear chicken noises.
Chicken. I'm gonna open up the door and go in.
And you can see that the ground floor of the windmill has been converted into a makeshift kitchen. The room is filthy. There are baskets and old dishware piled everywhere. And adding to the clutter is a peddler's cart, a chicken coop, a heavy wooden trunk, and a pretty wooden cabinet with flowers painted on its doors. And you can hear the clucking of chickens, and you also can hear the sound of toads croaking.
Grimshaw enters, crossbow drawn, looking for brooms.
And you can you detect the sweet smell of pastries, but it's blending horribly with the stench that burns your nostrils. And the awful odor is coming out of the oven. I'm sorry, is the awful odor is coming out of an open, upright barrel in the center of the room. And you can feel warmth coming from the brick oven against the wall. You can see a crumbling staircase ascending the wall across from it. And up higher, you can hear shrieks and cackles from somewhere that's causing the old mill to shudder.
Landlord, your landlord is here.
What is that awful smell? And I'll look at the pastry.
I will make my way up the stairs, hand crossbow drawn.
As you are entering the room and moving over to the stairs and looking around, you can see small human bones littering the floor. And Mathis, you notice that the
Do I recognize what's in the barrel?
let's see, looking in the barrel, you can see this glistening greenish black ichor.
Icker?
Do I see a lid or something I can cover it with?
No, you do not.
I'm an alchemist. I'm gonna see if I can ascertain what that liquor, what that barrel and liquid inside. You just let me know what I need to roll.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna think Arcana.
You got her. Need to clear up some space in my map. Give me a second. Or space out here. Give me a. Running one screen today is a little difficult. All right, let's see.
There's never enough screens for this program.
Nope, I don't know what it is.
And, looking around the room, you can see bowls of herbs and baking ingredients like flour and sugar, and several gourds containing this powder. Looking around in the cabinet, you can see a dozen locks of hair. And you can see 3 small labeled containers. One says youth, one says laughter, and the third is labeled mother's milk. And Voltrox, your attention would instantly go to the large chest that has all these little holes drilled in it that seems to be making toad-like noises.
Ooh, I like toads. Frogs are yummy. I like frog legs. I'm going to see if I can open it.
Yes, it's not locked yet. You are able to easily open the lid, and inside of it, you can see roughly about 100 toads. And when the lid opens, they start jumping out.
I'm already making my way up the stairs, so I'm free
Horde of
Toad again.
Okay,
Grab them
go.
and start eating them.
Math is going to try and put them back in the chest.
Um,
Well, what type of people are we? We just come busting up in here, yelling we're landlords, start going through their kitchen cupboards, releasing other...
I'm just looking for my rent. You're the one who let the toads out.
Ooh. Well, I guess that would be croak, 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 wouldn't it? Who let the toads out?
Yep.
Okay, the toads are out, and Gulliver is climbing up the stairs. And Gulliver, as you get toward the top, and you can see this haggard, heavy-set old woman with a face as wrinkled as a boiled apple. She's sweeping the floor and pushing around a few old bones, and she's stirring up this cloud of white dust with her broom. And
You got a picture of?
Broom, you
sure,
say?
a broom. And she wears a blood-stained, flour-caked apron. You can see a long, sharp bodkin impels her bundled-up mound of gray hair. And the dirt-caked windows are allowing very little light to enter this 8-foot-high chamber. And in the middle of the chamber, you can see this millstone that takes up the majority of the room. And it's connected to a wooden gear shaft that rises through the ceiling into in the center of the room. And the staircase continues up, and you can hear the sound of loud cackling. And, as you, come up. Oh, she's like, oh, hi, dearie. I didn't hear you come.
Well, yes, over the cacophony cacophony of your froggy components would be difficult. I would like to introduce myself. Gulliver Tifton Bradshaw Sutter. I am the owner of this windmill. And I produced the deed and flap it around and said, we are here to check in on our property.
New owners, huh? I didn't know anybody owned this windmill, and she's like, I was sure you came for one of my pastries, and you know, she brings out one of these pastries, and it's
So, they look delicious, but I'm a little suspect of the contents. What kind of pastry precisely is this?
give me just a second. They look like a small mincemeat pie. And, you know, they look pretty good. And she's like, yeah, I can give you one.
Well, I appreciate that, but I believe that as a landlord, we prefer remuneration in a liquid fashion, vis-a-vis cash payments. What, pray tell, however, though, are the contents of this delicious-looking pie?
You know, she gives you the typical ingredients for a mincemeat pie.
Meat, honey, flour, tad bit of milk, sugar, sometimes fig, things along those lines.
Actually, I'm pretty sure mincemeat actually doesn't have any meat in it. Mincemeat is just fruits.
It looks like a mincemeat pie.
Yeah, gotcha. Oh no, actually no. I guess it has it has some meat in it. Well,
I was just saying it looks like it. I'm just yelling out what she was.
Well, I thank you so much. But back to the case at point. As the new owners, we need to enter into an agreement regarding a regular rent if you wish to continue using the place. I don't think the other owners and myself have any particular objection, particularly since you seem to be running a successful business, and obviously helping the local economy is an ongoing concern.
Well, she's like, dearie, before we try that, you know, we use only the finest ingredients, and, you know, why don't you just try one of my mincemeat pies?
You seem awful keen to have me sample your pies. I am not particularly peckish.
I'm a baker. I want everyone to sample my wares.
I'm certain you do it, and sure is good business. Perhaps later when I'm slightly more surient than I am currently.
Okay, and back downstairs, you've got the 3 vials. Are you doing anything with them? What are you guys doing?
I'll open them up and figure out what's in them.
You
Pour
gonna
them into the big stinky vat.
Just as I was about to say, I head upstairs. Well, Vortox, what are you doing? No.
I'm making pastries.
You're really pouring them into the vat of ichor.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, the first one, the first elixir that's labeled youth. You know, it's this golden syrup, and you know uncorking it, and you're pouring it into the ichor. The second one is labeled laughter, and it's this red tea looking liquid, and you pour it into the ichor. And the third one is this greenish milky liquid labeled mother's milk. And you open it up and you pour it into the ichor. And nothing happens.
Oh, no fun. I might as well stomp my way upstairs all upset.
And out of character for a moment, the ichor is actually a demon ichor. And they use it as the font for a scrying spell. And
Not anymore, they don't.
and you can summon a Dretch who is now appearing younger and more attractive for 24 hours, who is poisoned and inflicted with cackle fever.
I love fucking with the demon world. But at least he looks good.
Okay, so you poured out the three elixirs, which I don't have to put in the parcel. And back upstairs to Gulliver. She's like, "Come on, honey, you gotta try one of my pies."
Why don't you, here, I'll split it with you halvesies. And I split it in half and I give her half.
Oh, okay. And she bites into her half.
And I will give a sleight of hand to make it look like I'm eating the pie. When in fact, I'm absolutely not.
Yeah, why don't you, roll for that? And she kinda nods. See, I told you it was good. And, I
I
hear...
start gagging and grabbing at my throat.
She looks at you and goes, "Honey, that's not funny. I know that's
I
a
stop.
good pie."
I stop and I say, I'm just kidding with you. Trying to lighten the mood a little.
And she's like, "So you said landlords, and I hear noises downstairs. Is that our other landlords?"
Yes, some of them. Absolutely.
Oh, well, why don't you have them come up and they can try some of my pies?
Gentlemen, we've found the current tenant for our new property. Why don't you come up and meet her? She's offering some absolutely not at all suspicious, excellent-looking pies that she would desperately like everyone to try.
They're fresh out of the oven.
They're fresh out of the oven and contain a list of ingredients that is not in the least bit suspect.
I'll head up.
Yep.
I'll move out of the way to let everybody come up the stairs.
And she's like, "My, there's a bunch of you. And here, these are fresh. Have some pies."
Valtrox takes a double sniff and goes, "Bleh! Sweet. Smell nasty. Me no want."
Mathis will politely start eating his.
And, surprisingly, it's good.
Delicious. Thank you. So,
Mm.
Gulliver, have we come to an agreement on rental?
Well, we were just beginning to start the discussion of appropriate rent. I understand that the locale itself is not in pristine shape, but the location seems very promising. And after all, in the world of real estate, location, location, location. Certainly, you understand, Madame. What did you say your name was?
My name is Morgantha.
Ms. Morgantha. Gulliver, Tifton, Bradshaw, Sutter. At your service.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you. And, she's just sweeping and,
I would appreciate if you were to put that broom aside. I have a history with brooms that's somewhat unpleasant. They make me uneasy. I'm sure you understand.
You could say he was swept off his feet.
What? You're uneasy around a little broom?
If she flourishes at me, I shoot it.
Eh, she's like, okay, dearie, I understand, and she sets the broom aside, and she's like, uh, so how did you become our new landlord? Especially when we didn't know we had a landlord.
Well, we inherited the deed from the Durst family. From Barovia. It was payment for some services rendered, specifically clearing a shrieking monster from the basement of their ancestral home. They were ever so grateful.
They've been dead for a while. How could they be grateful?
Well, you've lived in some time. I think that question should be self-evident.
And Mathis, you finished eating this delicious pastry. And while you were eating it, you started to get sleepy. And I need you to make a con saving throw, please.
I think that passes.
Unfortunately, it does. But you are able to shake off the effects of the pastry.
It comes from years of testing rare poisons and psychedelic drugs during your monk in. Good job.
Excellent. So, since our party will actually be out on the move shortly, perhaps we can come to an agreement where the rent will just be placed into repairing the windmill.
That seems reasonable to me.
Well, we haven't paid rent. No one owns this windmill.
I
And
show her the deed, and I say, please don't force us to evict you from your place of business.
how do I know you didn't steal it from a dead guy?
Well, of course he was dead, but we didn't steal it. They gave it to us as a thanks for allowing them to embrace eternal rest.
It actually doesn't matter as long as whoever holds the deed is the owner.
And, she's like, I think you're just trying to rip me off.
Ms. Morgantha, I think we would all prefer to avoid unpleasantness. But I assure you, we are the legal owners of this particular windmill. Perhaps if you disagree, you can certainly take up your case with Lord Strahd.
And with that, she's, she's like, be gone, leave my place. And she grabs the broom.
I shoot it. I shoot right away. The minute she grabs it, that's what I've been waiting for. I expected that it's a weapon.
And she throws the broom. And I will let you shoot the broom. And then everyone needs to make initiative.
I trust no brooms.
All right, a 2. The fastest people.
And I'm going to leave Ismark and Ireena down in the basement with the toads. And hey, the broom gets to go first. Okay. And it's going to try and knock you off your feet. And it
It's
hits
going
you.
to try and sweep the leg.
Actually, yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't try to sweep him off his feet.
And then it's going to try a second attack on you. And both of them do hit. And this time you manage to survive the first
It's a
round
broom.
of
It's
the
a
broom.
The first round. Woohoo!
quarterstaff of Aska.
Okay. This is very close quarters. I don't really want to be up here.
Now you see why I don't like this map.
Perhaps we should listen to her and evacuate the building.
I think it's a little too late now.
Or maybe pull her outside somehow.
Well, there are windows.
Yeah, it's only a 10-story drop. Or a 10-foot.
Is the... Yeah, that's not too bad. I will cast... Or actually use this level 4. Okay. I will cast Moonbeam. Above Morgantha.
And you're doing what?
Casting Moonbeam.
Okay.
Okay, so it's the first time... Okay, so the start of her turn, she'll have to make a con save. I wish I had a token I could use. But the moonbeam's right over Morgantha, and then I'm
Okay.
Is there a spell token for it?
Can't you use like a circle or a square? Dry?
Oh yeah, I can use it. There we go. I'll change the color a little bit.
Ah, got one. Little moonbeam. Okay, anything else, Taryn?
And then I'll probably. Oh no, I can't do that. Okay. I'll move downstairs towards the chest full of toads, just to make room for people to come down if they wish.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm going to take the disengage action. I'm going to give, for my bonus action, I'm going to give combat inspiration to Mathis. So let me do that. And then I'm going to make my way downstairs and hop off at the bottom of the stairs and kind of go there. And that's my turn.
Okay, and she needs to make a con save, right?
1 second.
Is
I'm
she
looking up something.
is she considered a shape changer?
Yes.
Okay. Because what the spell says is a shape changer makes a saving throw with disadvantage. If it fails, it also instantly reverts back to its original form.
Yeah, so she'll make a disadvantaged save, and then if she fails, she will turn into what she would. Because she does have a second form. It should say it in the others tab of her NPC.
And I get to witness this glory all to myself.
Okay, so disadvantage con. How would one do that?
I just make it twice.
Okay. Oh, she failed both times. Okay. So I'll apply the damage. And then she reverts.
And so the hag itself is not her natural form.
Her natural form should be that of a night hag. She's in her.
Oh,
Human form.
okay. Sorry. Yeah, she reverts into her night hag form. And
I think she gets some other abilities for being in that form as.
let's see. Yep. Don't need that. She yells out for her daughters. And she starts to cast a spell.
She ain't getting you one way, she's getting you another.
And let's see.
I can use that bardic inspiration to increase my AC.
No. Can't use it on a save, I believe.
On a save. Right.
Okay, she is going to cast sleep.
Alright.
Ooh, that sucks. That means you're getting all the dice yourself.
And yeah, 5d8.
Remember, you've got the Bardic Combat Inspiration, which you can use for ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws, add to your AC after an attack, or, well, you know, I mean, use for weapon damage.
There's no save for sleep.
It's straight HP. So
And
if he rolled above 24, I'm asleep.
oh, that sucks. That sucks because it rolled a 14. 5d8 and I get a fucking 14.
It's
Let
because I
me,
ate a pie
yeah.
already. I already shook off the sleepiness from the pie.
So that puts her down to 1. And she is going to move down 1. And the moonbeam's only good for 1 round, or
No, it's it lasts for it's a concentration of 1 minute.
okay.
And it could be moved.
Yeah, it can. I have to use my action to move it.
Of course, it probably would help if you could see where you're going to move it.
Yeah, that's why I'll move upstairs and then move back downstairs.
I guess I'll take disengage. I will also run down the stairs. Towards the door, I guess. And that's my turn.
I don't know what's going on. The only thing I hear is people running downstairs. Nobody's voiced anything to me yet or screamed out or... Actually, I heard what sounded like a broom hitting something, but, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, Ireena and Ismark just, hey, what the hell's going on, people?
It's a broom!
And
So you know what's going to happen is like 20 years from now, our ancestors are going to get teleported into Barovia, and they're going to end up at this ancient broom's house, and on the wall is going to be Gulliver's head just stuck up there, kind of like a, you know, a stag head.
and you can hear another voice directly from the 2nd floor now. And Gulliver, you see a broom fly down the stairs. And it's going to try and sweep you off your feet.
Still after Gulliver? Alright.
And we're going to try the second one.
Going down. Nope. Well, yeah. Cleaning supplies are dangerous.
Yikes.
And my advice would be make sure Ulrich's in because we're probably going to need his healing med.
Yeah.
Well, Gulliver for sure, but possibly the rest of them.
Okay. I am going to move beam over the broom.
Yeah, hopefully this thing doesn't turn into a broom hag.
Well, I think 2 night hags is more than sufficient. I'm sure there's a third upstairs because witch sisters always come in threes.
Okay, the moonbeam's over the broom.
Do I have any bonus action spells? Probably not. No, I don't. Okay, that's my turn.
And you can hear a third female voice coming from the room upstairs.
Wow, which one of the 2 daughters did she love more?
Alright, well, with my action, I guess I'm going to drink the healing potion in my inventory. And that's what, 2d4 plus 4? 2d4 plus 2.
Sounds right.
So that heals me for 8. Can you heal me for 8?
Oh, yes, sure can.
And then as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Healing Word at first level on myself.
Still trying to figure out what that word is.
And that's all I can do.
Okay. Damn it. Okay, Morgantha is gonna come down to the top of the stairs, and she's going to fire 3 magic missiles at Ismark. And then she's going to pop back upstairs out of view.
How big is the radius on Moonbeam?
5 foot, it's 1 square.
Okay.
Right, Mathis.
Everyone out, and I open the door and I make room. And I like to prepare an action to see if, in case one of the hags come down.
Okay.
That's my turn.
What the shiknak was that? Referring to whatever, step downstairs. It was beautiful. And of course, then I'm going to step out. But it's safer out here. And then I will... Hold on, I'm going to step to here. Now I'm going to ready a goblin door knocker in case anything bad comes up.
Ooh. Alright.
Okay, Ireena is hightailing it out. Ismark is going to attack the broom. Why did he get disadvantage?
He's prone for some reason.
He's prone, yeah.
Well, neither one of them would have hit. He's going to take his second attack. And he misses the broom. And he's going to slide to the right a little bit. Yeah, Ulrich's going to stay out of it for a minute. That's 20, 30. And this hag comes running down the stairs.
I would like to throw a dart at her.
Okay.
I tried. That's it.
Okay. And as she's running down, she is casting a spell. And she is going to cast Lightning Bolt.
And I will stand corrected from my last talk with Lightning Bolt. It does not bounce in 5e like I thought it.
I'm glad to hear that. And let's see.
The entire floor would like disintegrate.
And Ismark made a saving throw. Theron did not. Let's see who's alive.
Ouchie.
Well, there goes the moonbeam spell. And the broom of animated attack. We're gonna try Ismark. And he manages to hit Ismark.
Hey,
Darren,
Last
you're
minute.
looking a little cooked.
last minute change of plans, I see.
Hey, that's the most electrifying druid in all of Peru.
It's almost as if he has an endless supply of energy.
Can't really do anything.
Must get it from drinking Jolt Cola.
Really not much I can do in this little. The disengage action works for the whole movement, yeah.
Yes. For your full turn.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna use a disengage action and out.
Run away.
Get room to fight.
Okay.
Oh, I see. One's named Bella, the other one's named Wormwiggle.
So I said, you know which one her mother loved better?
And okay. And worm wiggle. That's 20. She's gonna come down the stairs. And we are going to
Do what you do.
she is going to cast a spell against Gulliver, of which Gulliver fails his saving throw, and you have now been held. You are under a hold person spell.
You're being held by her. So
Alright, my memory. Save at the end of my turn?
For hold person?
Yeah.
Yes, at the end of every turn, you get a save.
Alright, well, since I can't do anything, I'm just going to try and do... It's a wisdom save?
Give me just a second. And yes, wisdom.
Nope.
And you are held. And she's gonna come down to the top of the stairs.
You know, Gulliver, I think it's just me, but I don't think they like you.
This character kind of sucks, actually, so I wouldn't mind if he dies.
You playing him well, though, my friend.
I mean, he's been down in almost every battle. He gets hit on almost everything. Yeah, he can do some decent damage, but, yeah.
And Ismark gets hit by 3 magic missiles.
if I go for a Wormwiggle, which is up on the stairs, would that be a -5?
Absolutely.
Right, I'll go for Bella. I will use my Kensei shot as a bonus action. And I'll throw another dart. And that was a wonderful turn.
All right. So, how bad's Gulliver?
Well, at the moment, he's down 7 out of 21, but he's held. So unless his luck holds, he'll probably make it through. Maybe make it through another round, unless they all decide to attack him, which they might because he's held. But we'll see.
Let me see what my options are. I'd like to take the south side, but I don't know like it's gonna happen.
Well, it makes more sense to stay outside and keep it outside than do that. Just get Ismark to come running outside too. No sense in having a total party wipe if they, I got some unlucky rolls, but tactically it's not smart to fight in there. So
Yeah, agreed. All right, I'm just gonna ready an action again, and excuse me, sorry. And as soon as they, I'll holler at Ismar.
Where did Wormwiggle go?
Unfortunately, I deleted her. Where was she? Do you remember?
Above
Beside
the
Margaret
room,
on the stair.
and she would have used one of her spell slots.
Yeah. That's how I ended up deleting her, trying to... Okay, where are we? Ireena is still outside Ismark. Yeah, I'm gonna leave Ulrich for healing. And Bella.
Not even scratched, because I can't hit a broadside of a barn.
Bella is gonna try hold person against Ismark, and Ismark fails. So he is held. Well, should I let the dice decide whether or not the broom beats the fuck out of Gulliver?
random chance.
Random chance.
Okay, we'll go
They're both
high.
paralyzed.
And boom.
The broom sneaks up behind Gulliver while he's paralyzed and proceeds to attempt to skewer him from behind and below.
All right, Theron.
Okay.
Probably heal yourself. Oops, right.
Yeah, probably.
Ulrich's not doing a good job at healing.
Yeah. Going to move a little bit and then. That's my turn. I'll end it there.
And my turn, try my wisdom saving throw again. With What's the difficulty class?
Give me just a second. Alright. 14.
So I fail.
Yep. Okay, worm wiggle. Uh, tu- 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 tu. We're gonna do 3 magic missiles at Ismark. Still targeted.
Just a question: are any of the hags wearing metal?
I would say not. Natural armor. Yeah, what did I just... That's a cantrip. And Morgantha's gonna walk down and in between Gulliver and Ismark. And, you know, she tried to steal from me by making me pay rent. And she takes her claw and swings at you, Gulliver, and she does manage to hit you. And Gulliver, Tifton, Bradsaw, Sutter goes down.
Well, actually, I'm held, so I just still kind of stand there.
No. So I'm going to use my inspiration, finally. Give myself advantage. I'm going to use sharpshooter.
Remember, you also have combat inspiration, so you can roll a d6.
And I'm going to also use that d6. So I'll just go +5. No, wait. I'll roll. It's a 6. So add a 6 to the 13.
That would have definitely hit.
Take 15 damage. Oh, I'll reduce to 7.
But hey, you unparalyzed Ismark.
There we go. Turn. You can take away my combat inspiration.
Got it.
Gonna step in. Target bell.
That would be terrifying.
Oh, sorry. Take that damage off of Bell. I'm going to roll the attack, not the damage. I missed her anyway. And then I'm going to disengage back at it.
It's like peekaboo with an ugly goblin. Rawr!
Make that an ugly goblin with a top hat and a mono.
Yep.
And a tiger skin cloak.
No, he switched that out for the.
His mark
Flash.
is not held anymore.
Yeah.
Is he just going to stand there?
No. Thank you.
No worries. No worries.
I was already on Ulrich. Then, yeah, he wants some payback, so he's going to swing at Bella. And hits Bella.
Wow, suicidal.
And he's going to stay there. Ulrich. And Ulrich is gonna step up to the door. And that would put everyone in range.
Explosion.
I have none of the bad guys targeted. And we're going to do a healing word.
Healing word. Is
Yep.
that a single target?
Ah,
Oh no, healing word is never mind. Bonus action one. That's still a single target.
yeah, it is single target.
Yeah, you're thinking about mass healing word, which is, I think, higher level.
Okay, so I'm going to target Gulliver. Have some max healing. And he's going to step out of the door.
Takes an attack of opportunity from Bella.
And why not? And we're going to do a claw. Okay, Ulrich's done. And
What did his mark do?
he attacked twice.
Okay.
Hit once. And okay, fella. One action. Oh, why not? She is going to step down. And clear the targets. And she is casting a spell. And Gulliver failed. And Ismark succeeded. But she cast Lightning Bolt.
Dang. He just instant died.
Instant die.
Get to rolling.
Oh, instant death is instant, isn't that?
Winter, I'll talk to you during the week to roll a new guy.
Yeah, that sounds good. And let's see, where are we at?
You can run I'll work if you want.
Okay.
Or not.
And guys, this is a really good place to stop for today because this
For the
battle's
day.
not gonna be done soon.
No, it won't. No, it won't. All good, my brother. Merry Christmas, guys, and we shall see you all next.
Absolutely. Have a great Christmas. Same time next Sunday.
All right, buddy.
All right. See you guys.
See you.
I just realized something.
What did you just realize?
Billy's transformation. He could not technically fly us up there because he has the restrictions of no flying until 8th level.
Oh, well.
Well, in that case, we'll just retcon, and as he was flying each one of you up there, he failed, and you all dropped 500 feet to the bottom. New characters next week.
Awesome.
Lightning. Well, Gulliver said he hated that character anyway.